All right. Can you all hear me? Good. It's a different setting, and please bear with us with the technical glitches. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the CityWorks training, an innovative toolkit to support the implementation of global agendas at the WUF 2022. We're very happy that you're here. We also have some participants joining online. We hope that that is working. It's not so easy to have such a kind of a hybrid event. But yeah, also welcome to you online that is watching the stream. I hope it's working. This training is an initiative of the German Development Cooperation with BMZ, the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, implemented by GIZ and in cooperation with ICLEI. We are really excited to have you all here. Please let me introduce myself, and now I have to multitask. My name is Luciana Maia. I am a consultant with GIZ. Have been working in developing this training and applying it in different contexts. And I'm really happy to be here with a really amazing team. And I would like to introduce them briefly: Eva Graf, Lennart Kehl, and Sarah Loppelt. Lennart and Sarah are joining from Bonn, and I do hope that they are listening and hearing. It's a bit tricky. And Eva, myself, and Lennart and Sarah, we have designed and developed this training for you. And I see some people who have joined this already. So you are some experts there. They have participated in CityWorks already, but also some new people. And really nice to have you all there. So very briefly, what do we want to do with you? Present you what is CityWorks, what is behind this name, what is the approach and products we have so far, to give you practical experiences and to put your hands on. So it's going to be interactive and you have to do some exercises. And we also think that it's a good opportunity to engage and network and get to know each other. So please feel free also to use this room also for networking. We will have a short check-in as soon as I finalize the Menti login, but also we have some welcome notes. We will have presentation by Eva about the CityWorks approach, some examples from the ground, and that's also going to be a bit tricky, and we hope it will work because one of our speakers is joining online. There is going to be a break, which we will combine with some exercises, so be prepared for do something also during the break. We will have coffee and so on. And there is then a second exercise also, and then some discussion in the end. For the housekeeping, I think I'll go quickly through it. Of course, it's a hybrid session, and it's going to be recorded as far as I know. The ones online, of course, they don't even have the chance, I think, to unmute themselves. So, chat function, I hope it's also working. We will see if we can get questions from the audience online. I will circulate later on also a participants list so that we can get your contacts and be in touch with you also. And we were supposed to report or to tell you that COVID is still present in some places. So if you feel free to use the mask, if you feel comfortable, if it's better for you, you can also use it, or just our own responsibility is asked here. And CityWorks has an email, cityworks@giz.de, and also feel free always to reach out to us through this email. Without further ado, I would like then to introduce our hosts and the organizations that have made this training possible. BMZ, Dr. Alex Kleinbrick, Deputy Head of Division for the Sustainable Urban Development, Mobility and Circular Economy within the BMZ. And also Felix Döhler, Head of a component with the Climate and Finance for Climate and Finance in the sector project cities. Alex, would you like to tell us some welcome words? And you can come here or just test if your mic is on. Perhaps then it's easier if you come here so that people can see. So the camera is also a bit tricky. Not really showing.
No, Lucy, that's fine.
Yeah, it's showing.
Sign language.
Okay,
it's fine.
Do you want to have your?
It's okay. No. Good morning, also from my side. I mean, there's not much to add. I'm here on behalf of the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development to welcome you. we have heard a lot what this training is about, possibly just to contextualize a bit for you how urban development is important for us in German Development Corporation. It's one of 3 domains or priority domains for our strategy for climate and energy. So obviously it's quite important. Depending how you want to count our current portfolio for urban development or projects that we implement in cities is roughly about 12 billion euros. So it's a substantial amount of our portfolio. And obviously we also discuss a lot the investment gap, 1 trillion or how many, depends how you want to count it, more than $1 trillion of investment gap in cities to be ready for the global agendas that we have to meet our global goals. So of course money is important, but I am pretty sure even if we had that money, which we don't, it wouldn't work. And why wouldn't it work? Because the capacities in many cities on this planet are just not ready to implement and to absorb money in meaningful projects. And I think this is the challenge, how CityWorks came about, to also give German Development Corporation, but also other stakeholders, a coherent approach to build capacities in cities, which we can also use for financial cooperation, for technical assistance, obviously, and to bring all this together. So I think this is where the idea comes from. And so this is where we are now. Or some of you apparently already know the approach. And this is it. I mean, I'm looking forward to the training. I may have to leave after 10, but the main idea is you learn about new methodologies, how you can implement it in your work if you work in cities and with city governments. And we also, of course, hope to have multipliers in this room who can use this approach, and share it with others, and also give us feedback to improve the toolbox, because the toolbox is a kind of living process. So we are at a certain point, there was a refinement, a kind of new version, CityWorks 2.0 if you want. But of course, this is always being developed further. So of course, we also look very much forward to your feedback on what you think is particularly useful and what we can improve. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to pass now to Felix the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for your kind introductory words. My name is Felix Töhler. I'm working with GIZ in the sector project Cities, working closely with and for the Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development. And I'm responsible for the climate and finance work in our project, but also CityWorks. And I've been accompanying this process from the very beginning. And it really means a lot to me. Because I think our meeting and rolling out tools such as CityWorks is really timely. We're talking about the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. This is just 7 years from now and will be in the middle of 2030. We're talking about whether it is still feasible to achieve the well below 2 degrees goal of the Paris Climate Agreement. And we're not certain yet that we can achieve it. And cities play a huge role in this. I don't have to tell you as urban professionals about this. A lot of this potential of cities to contribute to achieving the goals is still untapped. And it is us, the urban community, who should make it happen. So when we started CityWorks, in 2017, this is the broad goal that we had in mind, that we were going for. We strive to develop a practical set of principles and tools that we can use in our work with partner cities, large and small, to mainstream the SDGs, the Paris Agreement and the Sendai framework, into local government frameworks, such as municipal development plans or monitoring systems. Also, we strive to enhance collaborative governance in cities and break up silos of institutions and sectoral topics. To make the tools, we also strive to make the tools as simple and barrier-free as possible to leave no one and no place behind. So what did we do? We identified the needs and developed the tool set in collaboration with colleagues around the world. We tested and modified the tools in applications with different projects in GIZ partner countries. And we set up a website that helps users navigate through strategic processes and in cities and contains a number of web tools. So I'm very glad that we got this work done, but still my ambition would be a little bit higher, that we as an urban community manage to trigger change at scale and in time. Now, I mentioned the 7 years. So this is why we have been building up a pool of consultants around CityWorks, and we've created a login area enabling users to connect with each other and feed in their own experiences. We're also taking on board partner organizations. Very happy to have ICLEI on board of this training. And yeah, hopefully there will be more language versions of CityWorks soon. Let's see. There's no one blueprint for the local implementation of integrated urban approaches. We have tried to carve out a suitable common sense framework for this, but this framework needs to be adapted in the local context and can be combined with a myriad of specific tools. And I'm looking forward to learn myself today about your insights, tools, and ideas, and your feedback. And what I would like to learn most is how can we jointly accelerate the change towards localizing global agendas in cities. And yeah, I'm convinced that the growing the community of users and supporters of CityWorks is one step into this direction. So thank you very much for being here today. I'm looking forward to the discussions.
Thank you, Felix. This thing keeps going. All right. Good. Can you hear me? Yeah. So as Felix mentioned also already, we have, of course, been trying to cooperate and partner with different organizations, and we are very pleased and happy to have ICLEI here. And I would like to hand over to Dr. Nazmul Hook as Head of Resilient Development with the ICLEI World Secretariat to also say some welcome words from the ICLEI perspective.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. It's very good to see you, everyone here. I'll be very brief in my welcoming speech in a way. And thanks, Felix and Alexander, for your very nice words, which are basically the anchoring point what I am going to say from ICLEI perspective, being one of the proudest partner of GIZ, I would say, in rolling out different tools, methods, and frameworks to making our cities more sustainable, more prepared to meet the uncertainties that we are facing and we are continuing to face in the coming years. So for us, sustainability of cities, sustainability of urban areas are really synonymous to the global sustainability, considering that the amount of people are now living in the city area, the amount of economy are now gathering in the city areas. So that is why the sustainability of whole urban area and its forward and backward linkages are the topmost importance if we want to ensure that we are following the sustainability pathway and we are also meeting the sustainable development goals. And that is why I am already saying that we are very happy, we are very proud that with GIZ we have a lot of collaborations, and we are together we have achieved some impactful activities and results at the city area. Most importantly, in very recent example of that is a project called Recap, where we together worked, and we, within a very short period of time, with a very small budget, we enabled cities to design, develop, and implement projects which are interrelated, which are integrated, and which try to break the disciplinary silos to see and to make the cities an inclusive space and sustainable space for all. So today here we are not only rolling out a very useful tool like CityWorks to see where we are and how can we globalize localize the global agenda and problem in order to solve the problem that we are facing in all scales of cities. But also we are now celebrating partnership. So why we are celebrating partnership? Because we believe that nobody can alone sustainability goals and objectives. We need different stakeholders. We need partners. And GIZ, for example, is one of the influential partners in the urban area. we, ICLEI, one of the biggest organization working with the global and regional, local and urban local governments. We are working with more than 3,000 local, urban and regional governments, meaning that we have a very big reach. And that is why we like to continue working with all those organizations so that we can bring all the knowledge, all the tools, frameworks that have been developed, and we can essentially reach to the level where it should have been reached. And I would like to conclude my word in a sense that we like to continue our journey. We like to capacitate cities. We like to change the way currently cities being designed. We like to change the way climate change has been addressed at a national, international, and global level. It has to be very much coordinated. It has to be very much, and someone should take the lead. And we see the national governments, intergovernmental governance have frequently failed us to meet the challenges that we meet. And now more than 65% people living in the cities. And now it's time that cities should take the lead, and we should make them enough capacitated so that they can really be daring and make a real impact that we need. And that's why we are here, and we like to continue our journey with GIZ, and we will be very happy to reach and to roll out all the tools that will really make an impact at the ground level. But at the same time, it's very important that tools should be available, tools should be free, and tools should be accessible enough so that everyone is interested, every stakeholder should get access to that tool. And we are very looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much. We also have Emani Kumar from ICLEI, so looking at the Asian region, and I hope Emani can also hear us now. He will be joining later on to talk also about something very important. ICLEI is working on the voluntary local reviews, which is also another tool. And we are looking forward to collaborating and developing things together also in that regard. So so much for the welcome. Thanks so much. And let's then get started. We want to have a little bit of an overview of who is here and also who is in the virtual room. And now it's the question that our colleagues in the online setting can be also posting the link in the chat, but also the online participants, if they see the code, they see the QR code and the code. It's the Mentimeter. I hope everybody has used it so far. If not, it's very easy. You can go to menti.com and put that 8-digit code 7968 8435, or you can try to scan the QR code. It's not showing, just a second. Yeah, sorry. I'm seeing it, but then it's not showing there. So that's the code, and that's the QR code. Feel free to, that's nice. Let me make a picture of it. Everybody take the phones. Good, the first question, and now I have to switch. We want to know what organization you were representing. Just a second. I hope you can now access it. Eva, I might need some help with changing. How do I come to the browser?
Yeah, you can.
I can't.
Yeah. It's okay. Okay, here's right. Okay.
Good. It's not showing?
Now let's get out of the PowerPoint.
Okay. Es zeigt nicht.
Machen die nochmal zu. Und jetzt
I'm sorry about the technical glitches. We're almost there. There you go. Okay, I see some hearts coming. Thanks. Type of organization we represent. I hope you are now able to answer. We would like to know who you are representing: national or subnational government, local government, civil society, academia, private sector, or perhaps nothing that applies. It can also happen. Good. Subnational, national government, quite a big amount. Local government. Also civil society, really good. So 37 people have voted. I will wait just a little bit more. And yeah, we see some people that does not find a category. Does someone want to say what did I miss as a category? Private foundation. That is not private sector, right? It's yes, okay, good. Quite hard to find all the categories, but yeah, thanks. Okay, we have a lot of national, subnational government. That's quite good because actually it's also about the enabling conditions that you need to give local governments also for implementing the global goals at the local level. But yeah, civil society very strong, academia very good. Thanks for doing this. We want to know now which city you represent, and I put 2 cities because sometimes someone is working in one city but is like feeling more connected to another city. So and make sure that you write it in English, and then we will see also a good word cloud of the cities that are represented here. Nice. Bonn, Dhaka, Cairo. Malawi, Plenty City in Malawi, Belo Horizonte. Nossa, muito prazer. Quem é de Belo Horizonte? Very nice. Bonn is bigger. Cairo, we have our colleagues from Egypt. Bonn, really nice. Vienna, Melbourne. Oh, so international. Pittsburgh, really nice. Let me see if I find some more. Indonesia, yeah, which city? Mexico City, Geneva. Cairo and Bonn are running, so very good. Berlin also well represented, very nice. And it's keeping coming in, but yeah, I think it's just to say, okay, we really are happy to have so many cities now, like knowing and getting to know about CityWorks. That's really amazing. So I would perhaps move to the next question, which is just a little bit about what are you bringing to this training today? And it's very personal, of course. It can be an expectation, but it can be also your experience, something you want to share. So feel free to just type something. It's a bit longer question, and I, of course, won't have time to read everything. But yeah, it would be nice to have some answers from you. What are you bringing to this training today? Curiosity. Yeah, if it was a word cloud, it will be already big in the middle. Learning, open mind. What EU has been doing. Oh, I'm afraid that's not that much what we have to talk about, but yeah, we can perhaps connect you to some other EU initiatives. Learn, questions, energy, that's very good. Always good to have energy. Okay. Good, learning, curiosity, very good. Some practical ideas about working at system level and community approaches, interest to learn about your toolkit. Great, really nice. Some of the answers are popping in, but yeah, it's very nice to see that you are expecting what we are wanting to offer you. It's the learning, it's to tell you about the tools, and also to give you some practical hints and how this has been used and how it's also possible to use yourself. All right, thanks so much. I think it's closed. Thanks for doing this. And I think, we can now really start. And I would hand over the presentation, the floor to my colleague Eva. Eva will now then take some time to really guide you through, okay, what is CityWorks, how it started, and what we have to offer. Is it working? Okay.
Okay, it looks like this is working. Yeah, so now I will get you a little bit more into the technicalities. You heard a lot the word CityWorks. What is this actually? I see familiar faces who know the toolkit, and some might not. So looking at this slide, let's remember 2015. There were many agendas adopted by the global community. It has been a really important year for international cooperation. So there was the Agenda 2030 on sustainable development with the SDGs, very important, of course. Then the Paris Climate Agreement, but also the Addis Ababa Action Agenda and the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. Then a year later, on top of that, there was the new Urban Agenda. And adopted and ratified by national governments. As you know, as city practitioners, these global agendas need to be also implemented by all levels of government. So also cities play a crucial role in this. to make them effective. So on the next slide, we see this picture, a man sitting at a desk with a lot of agenda names in the background, and somebody saying, could you please complete a global agenda report by lunchtime, please? A lot of stress caused. So I mean, as you see, this picture shows that, of course, cities and also local governments are put under pressure as they need to align their activities with the global agendas. But yet often they lack support to do so. This might be a lack of knowledge products or resources, capacities, or also the political backing by their national governments. So therefore, we see local actors in need of some guidance to support them in implementing these global agendas in an integrated manner. Here another picture. COVID happened, other things happened. So you see the city, very tiny, on the left side of the picture. And you see the COVID, the first wave, COVID-19. Then there's the regression also caused by COVID. And of course, a bigger wave, climate change, and up on the horizon, the biodiversity collapse. So there's many things coming up. Recently, also the war in Ukraine threatens SDG number 2. Again, we see how everything's intertwined. How the access to food globally is threatened. And again, here we see local governments more than ever in this situation are in need of support to achieve the goals set by the international community. So how does CityWorks come in here? As mentioned before, in one sentence, CityWorks is a digital toolbox that enables cities to implement global agendas on the local level. And it does so by recognizing the relevance of global agendas for local development. It also analyzes and identifies specific needs for action on the city level. And it develops and prioritizes clear options for action. And to achieve this, we enable advisors and city officials. We connect local contributions to the global agendas. And the toolbox also combines methodological and sector-specific tools. Now, for whom did we develop CityWorks? So there's 2 target groups. First of all, advisors, consultants, and experts on the international level. And then the second target group is, of course, policymakers, staff from municipal, metropolitan, and regional authorities who are involved in the different steps of achieving the agenda. And CityWorks, Felix already went a little bit into this, has 4 main functionalities. So on the left picture, the yellow picture, first of all, it provides explanations and information on the various global agendas that I just referred to. And it helps translating these on a city level and into local realities. Then secondly, this is more technical. CityWorks offers a process guide that has different steps and phases. So it really helps structuring measures and activities. Thirdly, it offers also a tool library. So we put a lot of energy, also with the help of Lucy, to monitor what's out there, like all the different tools that help this process. And last but not least, Felix already mentioned, we are developing a community. This is really important for peer exchange, and we have a login area in our website. So we really want to promote this exchange and build up the community. Exactly. Then the next slide is, we're a little bit proud of this. We call it a circular approach. So of course, all the situations in different cities, well, they differ from each other, of course. So sometimes we really can start with phase number 1. But of course, this process really never ends. So we have phase 1 here. Then there's 8 different steps. So we start, of course, with first collecting information. Then we define the process that needs to be done. Then there is the second phase of getting more to know the agendas, understanding the current situation a city is in. Then to identify the measures for local action. These measures also need to be prioritized, of course. Sometimes there's not enough money, of course, for all of the measures. Then the third phase that goes more into, really action is a plan. The next step is a plan for local action. And then, of course, monitoring is important. We need to keep track of the process. So we don't there's no one-size-fits-all solution. So we use this as a structure and see which steps are important. On top of that, we have some supporting activities that are mainstream throughout this process and that can be used additionally to the different steps. This is an overview of the products that we developed. On the left side, there's the conceptual study. So together with TU Berlin, we put energy into really comparing the different agendas, all the indicators, and see how they come together, where we also see synergies between them. We have a fact sheet. Part of the fact sheet is already on a handout that you see in front of you with the most important information. We have a quick guide. This is really a technical document that guides you through the different steps on the website. Then with every application, if we run a CityWorks process in one country, we also put specific information together for this application. So we also have, for these trainings, different handouts. Last year, because a lot of CityWorks, we focus a lot on the Agenda 2030 and the localization of the SDGs. And last year, we did like 2 extensions or spin-offs. So first, we put a lot of action into the Paris Climate Agreement. So we did an extension on climate action, which is now called CityWorks for Climate Action, with specific tools for the Paris Agreement. And CityWorks for Resilience, with a focus on green recovery and resilience. Nazmul already mentioned RECAP, where we work together with ICLAY. So basically all our learnings and the experiences of this program went into the further development also of CityWorks in this resilience extension. And now I already mentioned the website. So now we want to have a look into the website. You can also do this on your phone or laptop if you have in front of you. And the link is here, localizing-global-agendas.org. But I can also show you around here, and you can go back to the website at a later point. So I'll open the website. Here you can see the website. This is the first page with an overview on all that we offer. Part of these I already mentioned in the slides before. And then I guide you through the different functionalities. These 3 tools are program tools. So here you can do self-assessments. For example, the SDG wheel is one of our favorite tools that we use a lot in CityWorks trainings. We go on the About page. Here again, there's a summary, what is CityWorks for, with the basic questions, our main strategic partners and donors. CityWorks Toolkit, this is the core of CityWorks. So here you see this, again, the 3 phases and the 8 steps that I before showed in the circular approach. And again, here you can, for example, click on Raise Awareness in the second phase. And then here you see selected resources. And here are the tools. So here are the tools that fit this step within phase 2. And you can click on one, for example, here. And then you see an overview. You see the goal of this tool. You see the different tasks and steps that you go through when applying the tool, the material that you can download. You see how long this will take and the output that you get. And this is for all of the tools. You can also upload your own tools once you're registered as a user. Here, user tools. Then here's more content, again on the global agendas, an overview. I already mentioned the 5 that we cover. And then here you can, to inform yourself more, you can go into one, for example, the Sendai framework. Here's overview, all the tools that are with regards to the Sendai framework, have this sign, the resilience sign icon that we developed. And here's a short summary on all the tools with respect to this focus. Then, of course, very important are the experiences that we drew from the application of CityWorks. So here we have the stories of success. So here we have some examples: Nepal, Palestine. We have a lot of Cairo was one of the main cities mentioned. So I guess we have people from Egypt here. There's success stories. I can just go on to one. Click. Here you see the tools that were applied in this process, and you see a short summary. And as also Lucy mentioned before, we constantly develop the CityWorks. So of course, the experience we make, we feed back into the CityWorks. Yeah, last but not least, the library with the main products that I already showed on the slide. Here's the tool database where we monitor all the tools out there. With regards to global agendas, and here are the two spin-offs, CityWorks for Climate Action, CityWorks for Resilience, with PDFs, and well, it's a PowerPoint with a lot of links and a lot of content. Now this is the last thing I show you. Here is the dashboard. You can register as a user, as I said before. You can, when you registered, you can upload your own tools. You can also save the data done by the self-assessment. Here is an example, the SDG wheel. But you can also, if you're an advisor and you plan a process in a city, you can select different tools and save them here that are relevant for the city. One feature is still in development. There is a user map so that you have an overview of the community. This is still in development and should be finally developed in 2 months. So then you can see a world map with all the users that are using CityWorks and also the ability to connect with them. Yeah, I think this is it, Lucy, from my side with what is CityWorks. I hope you have a better idea. Some of you already knew it. Maybe this was a reminder. And I hand over back to you.
Thank you. Great. Good. Amazing, right? So it's actually a lot of work that has been put into developing these tools. As Eva mentioned, we started with some Excel sheet and started then doing the trainings in different settings, and then the tools were being created. And there's many things out there. And the question is now to you: any concrete questions you have so far in regard to has been presented? Please don't be shy, and just come up with whatever is on your mind first. Yes? No, you didn't hear? You have to just perhaps
For the virtual participants.
Possibly just repeat.
Can you come here, sir, please?
Yeah, but with a microphone.
Could you please?
Thank you very much for bringing us here and listening to this fantastic presentation. My question was, are you available when called upon by a city to come and do the training and make this presentation to those who should apply it in a particular setting?
Okay, thank you so much. I think now everybody was able to listen. Felix, please.
The short answer to this question, sadly, is no. We have developed this tool as user-friendly as possible with the aim of making it accessible and usable for as many persons in the roles we've described as possible. When we've applied CityWorks, we've done this so far always in conjunction with programs in partner countries and with other GIZ support programs. So if in your country there is a urban development or local development program, there might be a pathway to if you already work with GIZ. Otherwise, this training really is meant to also mobilize other organizations and their resources to use it. And we are, to explain, we are a global program working primarily on policy processes at the global level with BMZ, and not a program that works in partner countries. But we find it very important to provide tools that can be used in the bilateral programs of German development cooperation. That explains why we cannot fulfill this kind of demand.
Thanks, Felix. Any further questions? Please, did a bit, but just that we make sure everybody is listening.
Thank you. I agree. Can you hear me? It's a fantastic presentation, and thanks for confirming that it could be available if you find a pathway. I'm from South Africa. We have GIZ, but my question, just generally, is this available only in English? Thank you.
I think I'll just stay here until the round of questions is over. So far, the tool is available only in English, yes. And we're checking the opportunity, the option of translating into different languages, subject to resources. But yeah, so yeah, that's the answer to the question.
Felix, you can just. Felix is staying here. Another question, very briefly. Would you come here, sir, please? Otherwise, we cannot hear. Sorry.
Morning, colleagues. Mine is simple. The tool is got various elements. What are the key elements that you'll need for a sustainable city? So there are so many elements in the tool, but to guide cities to just focus on the key, the basic elements that you can have in your sustainable city. So if you can just guide us on that, I'll be happy.
Thanks so much, sir. I think that's a very good bridge for what we want to do next, because of course this is then very specific from city to city. One has to take the city where it's staying and with the challenges and opportunities it has. And what we wanted to do is to make it a bit clear and more tangible what we have been doing, to bring you one example. Of course, we have many examples and we had to choose one because the session is also then short. But the idea is actually to now take a look at one specific application and how it has been run. And we are very lucky to have then Felix here also in another hat, because he was there as an advisor and supporting the project there. So he can explain you what they did. And then I would give you the floor to you again, Felix, please.
Okay.
And then we can have another round of questions, okay? But you can answer also something towards the question.
I think your question triggers a lot. Triggers a lot, and I think many people have different answers, and there might be a lot of overlay in the answers. Maybe we all should keep in mind the question: what are the most important factors when it comes to developing and implementing a sustainability strategy in a city, and with regard to these tools? And maybe we can try to give an answer collectively at the end of the training. So what I would like to do with you now is run through a process where we covered with the City Works methodology, quite a broad array of tools, and every application is necessarily focused on a smaller number of tools, maybe just a small fraction of what is available. Wie bitte? Okay. Okay. Here's a map of CityWorks applications that have been run so far. In India is falsely marked as yellow. That we once had planned to work there, but all the other information is correct. What we would like to show here is that it depends very much on the context how you use the tool set. For example, the very first application in Ghana was focusing on setting up a multi-level SDG monitoring system. And this was piloted in one region with a number of districts, with many stakeholders, and this kick-started a process of setting up a monitoring system for the whole of Ghana, for many provinces, and it led to a very nice dashboard where government officers could then track the progress towards the SDGs. In the application in Egypt was more a kind of capacity building approach to help municipal decision makers and planners, as well as the ministry, to become aware of the method of this intersectoral integrated planning. While in the Palestinian territories there was already a very elaborate development plan which had not yet integrated the SDGs as a focus, and so the process there was bringing in some tools that would help translate the plan into an SDG oriented plan. And I think I will stop here. You can explore the other projects by yourself by looking at the website. And if you need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact us. But then I would like to go into this one example from Mauritania, where we had a number of conducive factors leading up to this workshop of 1 week. In the municipality of Sebra, which is one municipality in Nouakchott, the capital city of Mauritania. Here we had the support from a fiscal GIZ program on fiscal decentralization, working with this municipality already. And they had introduced a tax collection system. So the municipality was in this good position to have some additional budget to put consciously into the development of the municipality. And they were looking to develop a municipal plan to focus on the most important fields of action. And they expressly said the Agenda 2030 is suitable for us as an orientation point, as there's also a national strategy, a national 2030 strategy that we can refer to, and it will help us raise funding from the national government and from additional donors if we can say how this relates to the Agenda 2030. And so we supported the mayor and approximately a dozen people from his municipality to structure a reflection process and to find out what are these most important fields of action and how to do it. And just to run you through the tools, you see on the right, upper right-hand side, you see this circle. So first we had an intensive preparation process, but then when we started the workshop, we started with really general awareness raising of the SDGs. I brought a printout of the SDGs. Then I also made a short presentation. I brought a list of SDG targets, which is a very good level to discuss, because the indicators are much too technical, and but the SDGs themselves are too superficial. And then, so what we did, we looked at a few pictures of city situations and asked the participants, so which SDGs are these pictures connected to? And later on we'll also do this exercise here. Then a lot of data was collected by this fiscal decentralization program, and it was presented according to the SDGs. And that triggered a lot of discussion with the municipal decision makers and a lot of interest. What we then did also to relate the city development of Sepra in this case with the global agendas is we looked at government priorities. The mayor said, this is what I would like to do. And then everyone got the task. So, and how is this related to the SDGs and their targets? And they made a list of how this is related. And then when we mapped, how is this, oh no, I'm jumping too far. How is this related? So where do we see a very strong reference to the SDGs? And then you had many activities in one field, but then you saw in other areas, we don't have anything yet on the agenda. And then followed a discussion to prioritize the most important SDG targets. And that's where we had this came out of the analysis I just mentioned, but the mayor also expressly said, this and this and that came from the discussion, but I also want to see, for example, inequality or social cohesion in the community. Time-wise, yeah, okay. Social cohesion is an additional point. I want to see it on the agenda as well. So this is also, I mean, very legitimate of a mayor to simply address an additional point. And so we had a list of, I think, 11 or 12 SDG targets that were the focus of the next discussions. And then we split into groups and said, so you take care of these SDGs and you take care of these SDGs. Now, please reflect, where do we stand in what is the quality of attainment of these SDG targets in the city, and where is the need for improvement, and where is there a potential for action? And from this point on, we further developed ideas for actions, and then put all of this together again. And then arose a number of 4 clusters, quite naturally, around the areas of safe and healthy urban environment, around primary education, around improving health services at the municipal level, and enhancing social and economic cohesion. And that's how the municipality got to develop 4 strategic thrusts or axes to work around. And from that point, I mean, there was a lot. Then we did a due diligence test. Are the things that were outlined in the workshop so far, are they realistic? Are they politically feasible, financially feasible? Do they really contribute to an array of SDGs, or maybe are they very monofunctional or only taking place in one sector? So we ran through a number of checklists to make sure that we prioritize the most conducive actions, the most broadly conducive actions to the target set by them in the discussion between the municipal staff and the mayor. Here you can see the mayor looking at this list, prioritized list of activities, and saying what he would prioritize most. And that was the starting point for a more detailed development of projects, which I could not attend, unfortunately. It was the the beginning of March 2020. As you can recall, that was also the start of the global pandemic, and I had reason to believe that I would not be able to exit Mauritania at all if I don't leave early. So I missed the last 2 days of the workshop, where detailed 4 flagships projects were elaborated, starting from these strategic thrusts. And then we had another opportunity with additional finance from BMZ. We were able to carry out a number of actions on green recovery in cities, including some funding for some of the activities earmarked in the municipal development plan of Sebha. And this, you can see 2 pictures. On the left-hand side, there's a community garden for ecological awareness raising, that even in arid countries like Mauritania, you can have urban gardening projects and quite a diversity of plants growing for the local food production. And on the right-hand side, you see trees that were planted along a traffic axis in Sebha, and are supposed to contribute to shade, so thermal comfort in the city, as well as mitigating floods during the rainy season. So I think that was it. I hope you were able to follow the steps, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Felix. Yeah, we have some time for direct questions afterwards. Echt ein bisschen tricky mit dem Mikrofon. Sorry
Yes,
for
Lisa. If the questions are short, I can also simply repeat them
Yes,
for the online audience. Mhm. Which specific assessment are you?
household surveys.
Household surveys. Okay. Okay. The question was: at what point in time does one need the assessment surveys in the planning circle, in the planning cycle, as I understand? Well, I can only answer from my understanding that it would be good to have this before you set the priorities. The data, at the same time, you want to make evidence-based decision making, but you won't have all the data together to take the decisions only on the databases. So what you need is to have the best informed persons in the workshop room. And if you additionally you have some facts and figures on where the development going is in the most important fields, then that's very helpful. And sometimes it's necessary, but you need both sides, and there will always be important fields that you cannot cover with data. So probably shortly before you organize such a workshop, you bring together the stakeholders, you should have the data ready to be presented in a certain way, and to see if you need to raise more data later on in the process, which can still be done. So it's a little bit of a fuzzy answer. I hope it's still okay. You can work with it.
Can you speak louder, please, if you can?
Would you like to give an answer? My answer would be rather generic. This also depends a lot on the. Yeah. The question was, who are the key informants you involve in the data collection? That summed up correctly? Okay. And this depends. Oh, thank you very much, Mohammed. He brought. We were just brought one participant got a microphone for the audience, for the participants. Depends very much on the situation in the community, and just to stick with the SIPRA example, we insisted to involve civil society in the workshop itself and also in the run-up to the workshop. But in Mauritania, there's a very weak civil society that works rather as service provider than as a government watchdog in the sense of checks and balances. So you really have to look at the situation. Who needs to be involved for what reason to give legitimacy to the process, because they have the best data, because they because they are veto players and so on. That would be subject to a stakeholder analysis in the preparatory process. But Lucy, would you have an additional angle to add to this?
Yeah, I think there is one reference you could check on the stakeholder on these supporting activities, which are cross-cutting. And as Felix mentioned, I think there are some examples of different formats and different ways of involving also these different stakeholders, from participatory process in an online setting or in a face-to-face setting, but also with kinds of interviews or even online kind of questionnaires or so. But this is in this area of the supporting activities and involving stakeholders. And it's of course just reiterating it really depends, and one should build on what is there and not really reinvent the wheel. So really have a good understanding of your ecosystem, and what is there is always very important. So I think we could still have some more questions perhaps in the break for Mauritania, and Felix is also always available to answer, but we need to move on due to time, and we have now a very tricky issue. Thanks, Felix. A very tricky issue of having Emani Kumar from ICLEI joining online, because just as Felix was telling about his problem of having to go out of Mauritania very quickly. Emani Kumar arrived, but his luggage didn't, so he could not come here. And now I need to check with the technique if Emani Kumar is hearing us, and if he can share his screen, and if we can see it also. So I don't know if they understand me. Leonard is there. It's already good.
I can see you. I can hear you.
Technique is working. Thank you. Emani, we're really happy to have you here. You brought some insights on a voluntary local review. So floor is yours.
Yeah. Can somebody show my slides also, or do I have to?
Can you do it yourself? It's easier perhaps, because we didn't have time to upload it.
I don't know this system where I can show the slides.
Okay. Then perhaps you start talking and I'll try to figure that out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because this is a new system. I logged in. I don't know where I can show my.
Emani, it might be that it's not possible. Perhaps we can share the slides afterwards, and if it's possible for you to just talk without them, you can use them to guide you, and we will try to imagine what you're talking about. Is that fine? I think we don't have the technical possibilities to do it right now.
Okay, no issues. Maybe I'll just speak. You can share the slides later on. I have to get out of this system. Maybe you can still see me, but I'll just see my slides on my screen. I hope that is okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I just want to add from where Felix has left. I think in Africa, now I'm moving to Asia Pacific region, in the South Asia especially, the two voluntary local review systems which we have supported them. So I'll just share on that today in next maybe 7 to 8 minutes. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer on that also. Uh, just to tell you on the voluntary local review, which we have done it to two cities, as I said, that one is the city of Singra in Bangladesh and Dhulikhel in Nepal. And I just want to tell you, these are the two cities first time in South Asia region which have done a voluntary local review of SDGs. The main reason is, or the goal to do this VLR is to understand and give us open information about the city's implementation of the sustainable development goals and promote cooperation with the international community and contribute to the cities on the increasing efforts to implement of the sustainable development goals. I also want to thank UNESCAP, who has actually helped us on the methodology front and also partnered with us on this. And this whole system has been supported by the CDK and the Climate Development Knowledge Network, which is supported by IDRC as well as the Dutch government actually on this particular thing. The methodology which we have followed is that maybe I don't know that you can see the slides or not, but actually we created an inception meeting and then we moved to a stakeholder identification, like Felix was also talking about this, to understand the data, to check the data and the data availability on that. We have actually trained on online training by the UNESCAP because of the pandemic situation at the time. And then we have conducted stakeholder meetings. I think in the previous session also Felix was talking about on this. So to look into what exactly, which SDGs the city want to concentrate first, because it's not easy to concentrate all the 17 SDGs. So which are the SDGs which we want to see that, and how do we integrate the actual work which is going on ground to these SDGs, and see how we can take it forward on that. So we have done like 3 stakeholder meetings to look into what are the various priorities, and then see the progress, what is happening on that, and also validating of the progress of the data which we have. And then the final report has been done that. I just want to tell you that today morning, maybe 6:30 morning of European time, the Singra city has actually declared their voluntary or released their VLR report on that. The various activities which we have followed is creation of an institutional ownership. That is actually the municipality announcing its intention to developing the VLR, understanding the challenges and critical sectors in the city, and assessing the data availability on that. We also have activities, as I already said, the stakeholder meeting to increase participation, linking city priorities to SDGs, where we have looked into what are the various indicators of these SDGs relevant to the city, because all the indicators are not relevant to each and every city actually on that. So what are the various relevant indicators which needs to be shown on that, and projects being implemented or planned that can contribute to the SDGs. That is also because you cannot just bring another project to the city and start doing on that. What are presently happening on that, or what are the planning of various activities, so that can be linked into the SDGs also we looked into all it. And mapping of SDG goals relevant to the city strategy on that. And after that, we started, along with the city officials, we started data collection and measuring the progress. Data collection and validation of data happened through the city officers and as well as some of the local representatives, which city has selected them to take it forward on that. And finally, based on that, we prepared a BLR report. And what the city is going to do after that is, like, maybe they are just simply looking into how they can integrate this whole process into the VNR national reporting on that, and see that how we can take it forward on that. these are the various processes which the city of Dhulikhel and Singra has participated. It took almost like more than a year for us to work on all these things, because also due to the pandemic situation, which we could not, the city could not take it forward on that. But this is, it took a longer process than what we were assuming on that. Just to give you a little bit of more information on these two cities, which I'll just tell you. On the Dhulikhel city, their vision was to develop the city as a healthy, happy, and prosperous community by enhancing the economic, social, cultural, and basic needs of the people of Dhulikhel. That is what the vision which the city of Dhulikhel has put it. And the SDG 1, SDG 3, SDG 4, and 6, actually the no poverty, good health and well-being, quality education, and clean water and sanitation. These are the 4 goals, SDGs, they have selected at the first point for this particular VLR, and which they want to take it later on that. And again, I don't want to go into all the data details here, but you can see them. Maybe the organizers can send you the slides also. So how they have progressed, what exactly happened in these 4 indicators, how they are doing at present, and how they have taken it forward, how they can take it forward is what they have discussed and they have released on that. I can tell you one thing here. Even Dhulikhel mayor, actually, before he gone for the elections just last month, he released the data as a previous mayor. And I'm happy to declare here again that he is re-elected, and citizens are so happy with the work and how the city is progressing on that. On the VLR of Singra, that is in the vision is mostly like more on the developing a planned and sustainable urban settlement that promotes low carbon resilient development, proactively mitigates disaster risks, and provides equitable access to basic civic amenities, health services, and educational facilities to all, and actively supports empowerment of the youth and women and encourages inclusive city development. They have selected 6 SDGs, SDG 6, SDG 5, SDG 13, SDG 11, and SDG 8 and SDG 7 also on that. Again, I don't want to go into all the details. They are there on the slides. Maybe you can see them, how they have progressed on that. And final 2-3 slides, just to give you the project outcomes. The city has now a city vision, which is developed on both SDGs as well as the city activities on that. Localization of SDGs, that is the main thing which has come out of this particular exercise, because unless until you can have global indicators, but how is it at the localization is what it really helped them. Training of local officials on the voluntary local review process, that is one important thing happened to that. So they are so happy that both the city mayors and city officials, that they have been trained and they know now how to take it forward on that. And as I said, that this is the first ever voluntary local review report in the South Asia region, both in Nepal and Bangladesh also, and both these VLS have been launched on that. The challenges, data availability and access, I think that is one thing Felix was also talking about. Most of the cases, there is no data or less data or not in the format what it is required to the SDG targets, linked to the SDG targets. So it took the cities a longer time to bring the data and to put it on that. And also the second challenge, I can say that the technical capacity of the municipal staff, actually, that poor understanding of SDGs, this is like a jargon at the global level, what is linked to the city level, and at that level, there is nothing, that there is a lot of gap, I will say. Maybe I shouldn't say nothing, but there is a lot of gap between what is there at the textbooks and what is happening on that. So the training really helped them. Now they have to understand what is SDGs, how do they can take it forward on that. And the last challenge, I will say, the engaging the stakeholders during the COVID-19 and local restrictions. Because of that, we lost a lot of time. City lost a lot of time in doing this whole report on that. This is my last slide. Just on the next steps, they are going to review all other SDGs also, which have not been taken up as part of this VLR. Hopefully, next one and a half year, they will have other SDGs to review on that. Strengthening the data management systems in the cities, that I think both the cities have said that they are going to do this, and I hope maybe in a year's time we can see what type of data is available with the cities and how they can take it forward on that. regular training of municipal staff on SDGs and their localization. That we are promised that we will do that. But city also has their own staff now. They can do it as a peer-to-peer exchange, and also not only these two cities, but maybe other cities in Nepal and Bangladesh on that. And vertical integration with voluntary national reviews, regional and national development plans. Actually, the city is interested to bring that to the VNR and also to the international arena also. And establishment of stakeholder engagement platform in these two cities. I'm happy that they are still running, even we finished our project there, but the stakeholder engagement platforms are still running, and I hope the city will benefit out of these things on that. So that's what this is. I'm happy to answer any questions on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Emani, for this insightful, facts and figures and learnings from the VLR experience. Congratulations on your work, and I think GIZ for City Works, we still need to exchange more and see how we can make these learnings also develop it in further tools that are also then now included in City Works. This is something that is still missing there, but yeah, we are sure we're going to continue exchanging. We are losing some of the participants, and of course it's a very long training for 3 hours, but those who stay, please just bear with us just a little bit. We will start the coffee break. I want to have at least the opportunity for one question or two maximum, and we have a microphone now here in the front, so you don't have to come up here. Are there any direct, short questions for Emani? So it doesn't seem to be the case. VLRs are going to be a very important tool for cities, so follow up on this work and keep yourself informed about it. And of course, if there are any questions to Emani, we will make the emails and the contacts and the presentation available, so you can also still follow up afterwards. And with that, we would close actually the input part and all the practitioners and learning from the ground. And we had Mauritania, we had cities in Bangladesh and India. And that's then this part for it. Emani, I hope we can still see you somehow, then get to meet you in person here. And wishing you all the best. And thanks again for your participation. Before we start the coffee break, I want to use the coffee break, and of course now I have to make one announcement, because now it's going to be interactive and we cannot show this and the broad stream this to the live audience. So perhaps we can also just say a thank you also to the audience that was joining online, and say that we now need to close the room. I don't know if there is the possibility for the colleagues Leonard and Sada to share the link that we had for small evaluation in the chat. If that's possible, they can do that now. Otherwise, thanks everyone for joining also online, and please do reach out if you have any question and any comments. Having said that, let's then now go for the first hands-on exercise we brought you. And we do hope that you were still with a lot of energy from the beginning and staying here with us to the last final 1.5 hour. There is...